University, the voice of Reichman University.
The Baseline. Stories from the court with Jonathan Rears and Nitzan Aharon.
What's good, everyone? We're back. The Baseline podcast. Jonathan Rears, Nitzan, Annette Snow is joining us today for a very special episode. I'll tell you a little bit about us. We're just two guys who love to talk hoops. We get to talk with a bunch of different professional players, coaches, even owners. We talked with Ofriyanai. And every single basketball player has their own unique story, and every story is super special all over the world. You know, we've gotten guys who've played in China, in Malaysia, in Europe, America, all over, and of course in Israel. So we're very excited to hear your story. So why don't you give us a little rundown about you?
Yeah, so I guess I'll start from the very beginning. I was just an athlete, played basically every sport. Always just was pretty athletic. High school, realized that I don't like outdoor sports because they're outdoor and it's cold, and I'm from New Jersey. So I was like, I'm going to go all in on basketball. Had an opportunity to go to a prep school, Blair Academy. I transferred there after my sophomore year, finished 2012. They wanted me to do a PG year, but I already had offers for college, so I turned that down. Went on to play at Lafayette College, Patriot League. And after that, I kind of was like, all right, my goal with basketball was just to take me through college. And, you know, while I was in college, I played for Team USA in the Maccabi games. That was after my freshman year of college. After my sophomore year of college, I came back to Israel and played for the Israeli national team in the European Championship. And yeah, then after I graduated, I was like, you know what? I've done everything I possibly can with basketball. I don't really want to play professionally because, you know, I grew up with two Israeli Jewish parents who are like, you get a job and you go about this, you know, the work life in a very certain way. And I agreed with them at the time. You know, I can start playing and then what? Then I have to start an entry-level job when I'm 30 years old. Not so, you know, attractive to me. So I still loved basketball. Went on to work for the Philadelphia 76ers. I was there for 3.5 years. And then I was on a trip to Israel with my family just for vacation. And I met up with all my friends who I played with on the national team. And they were all like, I don't understand. You love Israel more than anyone I know. You, like, your soul itself is more Israeli than any Israeli I know. And you love basketball. Like, why would you not come play? And I was like, well, you know what? You're right. So I had an agent from back then when I was playing on the Israel national team. They were trying to get me to come play pro. I played really well on the national team. They were trying to get me to come play pro before I even finished college back then. So I had this one agent, and I texted him. And I was like, hey, question for you. He's like, wow, crazy to hear from you. How are you? I'm like, good. You know, I haven't touched a ball in 3.5 years, but what are the chances I could play again? And he's like, if you're serious, 100%. I was like, no way. He's like, yeah, all the coaches remember you from the national team. You probably won't get the money that you would like to get initially, but if you want to get in, you'll have a job. I promise you that. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I had just signed a new lease, literally just signed a new lease, bought all new things for the apartment. He got me a job for Maccabi Ashdod, which is the number one team in Israel. I wasn't expecting to play much. I literally just wanted to be in Israel. And, you know, basketball is a great way to bring me to every step of my life. Basketball has been behind it. And so then a week later, I come back to, I was in New Jersey at the time. And then a week later, I'm on a flight back to Israel, and I ended up playing for 3 years straight for Maccabi Ashdod. Broke my nose the third year. It was right before playoffs, and so it was kind of like a period where they're like, all right, well, you're out for the season, so, you know, you could stay, you could leave, whatever you want to do. You know, I still got paid through and everything. But then after that, I was just kind of like, all right, this is my time. Like, initially, I was just going to play 1 year. Ended up being 3. Now it's time to go back and get a job. And that's what I did. My grandfather started to get sick, who was in Israel. So luckily, I was working a job that was remote. I came to Israel, was working from here, and then I had a winter break coming up from work. So I had 2 weeks off from work, and I texted the owner of Petah Tikva, which is the city that my grandfather lives in, and I was like, hey, I'm here. I have 2 weeks off from work. I kind of want to stay in shape somehow. Do you guys need any practice players? He's like, yeah, absolutely. Come through. So I come. After the first practice, he texts me. He's like, hey, can you please come meet me first thing tomorrow morning in the office? And I'm like, listen, like, I just want to stay in shape. Like, I don't want to do all these meetings and, like, I'm good. Like, he's like, no, please just come meet with me. I'm like, okay. He's like, listen, we want to sign you for the season. And I'm like, well, I can't. I have a job. Right now I have 2 weeks. I was like, listen, if you want to sign me on a 2-week contract, I'm down. But I can't sign for the season. I have a job, even though it's remote. Like, it's just, it's just not going to work. He's like, well, I want to sign you for the season. I'm like, well, I'm not going to sign for the season. I was like I said, if you want to sign me for 2 weeks, we could do that. He's like, all right, how about this? We'll give you a 2-week contract, but you have to promise me that you will reconsider your decision after the 2 weeks. So I'm like, listen, I don't want to fool you. Like, it's not like I don't want to. Of course, I want to finish the season, but I have a job. But you know what? For you, okay, I'll reconsider, because you never know what could happen. Maybe I get fired. Maybe, okay. So I signed a 2-week contract, Petah Tikva.
That's unheard of.
Yeah, it was crazy.
They got an NBA 10-day, basically.
Literally, yeah. I think I played in 4 games. And then, everything, the job I had was so good. It was just like, I did not continue after the 2 weeks, but I had a great time in those 2 weeks. And then, so I retired again. Then I came back to Miami, working, and then October 7th happened. And when October 7th happened, I was really, really impacted by it. My entire family is here in Israel, outside my immediate family, like my parents and my brothers. We're obviously all in America, but both my parents are Israeli, and so all my grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody's in Israel. And just seeing what had happened October 7th really, really messed me up. And I just had this really deep feeling that I needed to be in Israel. I was like, I don't care how, but I need to be in Israel. And so, me, what's the means to every step of my life? It's basketball. So, it was at a time when all the Americans left. I'm Israeli. Teams just needed players to continue the season on. And I was like, you know what? I'm really good friends with Alyssa and Limor, and in Jerusalem, it's a new team that came up from the 2nd division. I'm thinking it's going to be just fun, kind of. I'm so used to playing for Maccabi Ashdod, where everything's serious. It's very professional, very serious. I'm thinking I'm signing in Jerusalem, and it's going to be just fun, and I can be here with my family and just be in Israel when everyone's going through such a hard time here. And that was really the main purpose. They knew I was signing because of that. They didn't think it was because I wanted to play basketball again. And they were okay with it. And I ended up having an incredible time. It was really just God's plan to have me here. And the second I landed here, I knew this is where I was supposed to be. My grandfather actually ended up passing away while I was here. So it was really unfortunate, but I was here for 4 months straight, and I made a promise to myself that I'd see him every single day until he passed, God forbid, and that's what I did. And so basketball was another way to bring me to where I'm supposed to be. And every time I have kind of used basketball as a way to get to Israel, at the end of the day, the main purpose for me wanting to be here is Israel, right? I love basketball. It'll always be there, but Israel's really where I want to be. And so now I'm kind of in a place where we're looking at this again. So I think, what would that be, the 3rd time coming out of retirement?
So now where you're at is you might be signing in the first league again?
Yeah. I actually, I reached out to an agent, and I was like, listen, I think I want to play in the 2nd division because I just want to come to Israel. But, basketball helps you figure everything else out. So, I want to play. I know second division, I'll just have fun. I can get paid. They'll help me figure things out as I make the move to Israel. He's like, no, like you're going to the first division. And I'm like, I mean, first of all, I know everybody in the first league. So I actually already spoke with most people, and it seems like all the teams are closed already. Like they have used all of their money. They have all the players they need. And there's also this new rule now that they made this year where I think it's like you can only have more than 2 players who are above the age of like 26 on each team now, which every day they're changing that rule. So I don't know what the like most updated one is, but I'm 30. So I thought that was also another way for me to not be able to make it in the first division. And he's like, no, we're going to figure this out.
And now what is it looking like?
So now it's looking like I probably will be signing very shortly to a first division team.
Incredible.
So if we go back, right, to when you were growing up, you said New Jersey, you know, I'm from Boston, Chicago. We don't really love the cold sports, right? Whether it's football or soccer or whatever. So you decided to take an indoor sport, which was basketball. But what really drove you to basketball deeper down, and what really has kept that love and passion for basketball throughout your life?
Yeah, I'm honestly downplaying how much I love basketball, really using it as a means now. But if I'm being real with myself, like obviously I keep coming back to basketball too, right? So there is a deep love connection with basketball. Like I really don't know how to get away from it no matter what I try to do. And I think that comes from, it built me to who I am today, right? I played every sport. The way I ended up really choosing basketball was it was a snow day one day in high school. I heard about this one gym where they do training. I never done training before. I was just like, I go to practice and I go home. And I'm like somebody that can't sit still. So I'm like begging my parents to take me to this gym on this snow day. I heard it was open. They take me, and one of the trainers there, his name's Tom Flaherty. He pulled me aside afterwards and he's like, where did you come from? Like, he's like, you should be on our AAU team. And I was like, oh, you guys have an AAU team? I don't know if you guys know who Marina Mabry is, but Marina, she plays in the WNBA, All-Star, played in Unrivaled, all of that. Her sister Michaela's my age. Marina played on this team, and so did Michaela. The team every year only had like 5 players because it was so intense that no one could handle it. And he's like, you should come play on this team. And at the time, like, Michaela was the best in the state. Like, I knew who Michaela was, even though I wasn't even that into basketball. Like, everybody knew who she was, right? So I'm like, Michaela's on this team? I was like, oh my gosh, like, okay, I'm down to play on this team. I started training with them. He asked me to come on the team later. I think he was like testing me out. Because I remember I was already on the team, and then once it started to get warm outside, we started doing workouts at the park. And we would have like 4-hour workouts, right? And I remember my first one ever. This was like the most impactful experience I think I've ever had in my life, and this is why I love basketball so much, right? It's my first time at the park, a park practice, right, with these girls, and I had no idea what I'm getting myself into. We did ball handling like up and down the court for an hour. After that, we did like spots around, moves around the basket, into layups, jump shots, threes, like everything for another hour. After that, we did one-on-one full court for like 2 hours. And I literally was dead by the end of it. And Tom calls me to the side. He's like, Annette, do you think you worked hard today? And I was like, obviously, like I'm literally dead. What are you talking about? He's like, you think you worked hard today? And I was like, yeah. He's like, do you want to play basketball in college? And I was like, can I play basketball in college? He's like, oh my God. He's like, if you don't know the answer to this, get the fuck out of my face. And if you think that you worked hard today, really get the fuck out of my face. I never want to see you again. Tell me, like, wait, can I play basketball in college? Like, that would be so dope. Like, and I'm like, but you don't think I worked hard today? Like, how? It's impossible to work any harder. So this man, like, truly taught me what it means to work hard. He taught me discipline. He taught me like, oh, and mind you, when he had this conversation with me, we had just finished the hill sprints. After that, after we had our little conversation, he's like, all right, now you and the girls were headed to the boardwalk. I'm like, what are we doing at the boardwalk? He's like, I'm going to drop you guys off at South Point, which is in Spring Lake, and I'll see you in Belmar. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you guys are going to run the boardwalk, and I'll see you at the end. And I'm looking at the girls, and I'm like, come on. And I'm like, you guys, like, how often do you guys do this? Like, I was like, I literally don't think I'll make it. So anyway, he really, really taught me, when you think you're at your max, like, you're not. And that has carried over into every aspect of life for me. Every relationship, every job I've ever had, every test, anything. Like, a switch was flipped in my head, thanks to Tom Flaherty. He's by far the most influential person in my entire life. And that is what made me fall in love with basketball, And he's like, even with all of this, you think you're dying. You need to go home now, and you need to do more ball handling because you have to catch up. They've been doing this since they were like 7 years old. You're sophomore in college, or in high school. So when you think you've done enough, you haven't. And so in a way, like, I think I'm for sure grateful for that. But it also screwed me up mentally a little bit, right? Because like now I'm putting literally my entire life into this. And when it doesn't work out, it's really hard to handle. Really, really, really hard to handle. And then life after basketball is really hard as well.
Let me interrupt you. From high school, you do the AAU route. You probably played varsity basketball.
Yeah.
And it went very well, as it sounds. And Tom, like, literally showed you how to love basketball, but also how to put basketball and work ethic in front of yourself and how to become disciplined, which is what you just said.
Yeah.
But going over to senior year of high school, you're 2 years into AAU, 3 years into AAU, right? You said sophomore year, junior year, senior year. Then you at your senior year, and also at the end of your junior year, you're probably hearing a lot of talks from college coaches and all the offers coming in. Where were you kind of headed with your head? Like, oh, do I want to go to Lafayette? What were the other offers you had? Yeah. And what made Lafayette your choice at the end of the day?
I really hate my answer for you. Really hate my answer for you because it wasn't my choice, to be honest. It was in my top schools. I really wanted to go to Princeton. I had the opportunity to go to Princeton. They put it through my application because, you don't get a full ride in any Ivy League school. Mm-hmm. But they, figure stuff out where you pay very, very, very little. And then when it came down to it, my parents were like, well, I mean, why would you pay anything if you could still go to a really great school academically and get a full ride? And I'm like, you know what? That does kind of make sense. So Lafayette was up there, but I had a few other schools that I wanted to go see. And essentially, I really loved Lafayette. And why did I end up choosing Lafayette? It was partly my decision, but I would be lying if I didn't tell you that my parents had a very large part in it. And that part, being an adult, looking back on, I wish I was more in touch with myself to decide what school to go to, because I knew in my heart, I think I let my parents convince me that I loved it so much, but everything happens for a reason. I don't regret it. But no, I wanted to I had the opportunity to go on so many visits. The only official visit I took was Lafayette, and then I signed. I signed my junior year. So I didn't even give it an opportunity to see more. Then my freshman year, I struggled. But you can't officially receive an offer until you enter the transfer portal. And it's way different back then than it is now. But I remember telling my dad, that's what I want to do. I wanted to be in California anyway, because, that's where I wanted to be. If I were to choose back then, I probably would have chose, Pepperdine or, a school on the West Coast. And now, all of a sudden, her name is Carlene Mitchell. She's going from Rutgers. I know her very well. She's been following me for a while. Now she's a associate head coach. My dad's like, well, I don't think you should do that, and I also don't want you to be this far away, so it's up to you, but I'm just letting you know, if you tell your coach that you're entering the transfer portal and then all of a sudden maybe Carlene finds somebody else and now you no longer have an offer, you're paying for college on your own, because Lafayette's not going to want to take you back now. And then I'm like, pay for college on my own? I've never had a job in my life because my whole life has been basketball.
So making that move is kind of you're too scared, because then you were to have to pay for college on your own.
I didn't know anything about life then.
Right.
I entered college. This was another reason why it was hard for me in Lafayette. I got to college. I was 17 years old. I couldn't participate in the first 2 weeks of preseason. Why? I can't sign the paperwork on my own. I could not practice the first 2 weeks of college because I was 17. So I was just a baby. I didn't know anything in any aspect of life.
But you end up not going into the transfer portal and staying in Lafayette.
Yeah.
So what changed with your teammates? The senior point guard's gone at that point, right?
It's still all the same girls. Oh, so freshman year I tore every ligament in my ankle. A piece of the ankle bone chipped off. The doctor was like, you have no choice but to get surgery. And that put me out for the season freshman year.
And how is it getting back to your original self?
It was easy. I'm like, Tom has conditioned me so much. Like I can really do anything. That same summer, I played in the Maccabi games. My first time running was my first practice in the Maccabi games in Israel. And like I was not even supposed to be out of the boot yet. Like I was in a cast, and then I went straight from the cast to an ankle brace, and I started playing.
I was going to ask, you said that the way that you were treated on the team your freshman year kind of made you stop playing, where you would just look at the basket, pass. However, you had big roles in the Maccabi games, and you also had big goals in under 20 for the Israel team.
Yeah.
So were they kind of your refuge almost of like, I'm on this team, I don't feel like I'm really a part of this team. But then when you went to the Maccabi games and also the under 20 Israeli team, did you feel a little different?
This is a good question. Maccabi games, I didn't give a shit about basketball. I was like,
Wow.
I'm happy to be here. And I want you guys to like me, and I want to have a great time. So whatever happens, happens. I also literally just got out of surgery. Like, I'm not expecting anything. So Maccabi games, I just had a great time. When I came for the Israel national team, I did not want to come. My parents forced me to come because the agent like told them that I should come. They're like, you should do this. And I'm like, I hate basketball, no. And first of all, totally different experience. Why do I love Israel? Listen to this. All the shit I went through, I get to Israel, and my agent's like, listen, you need to go to tryouts. Like, you obviously made the team, but like you got to go to tryouts for the national team. I'm like, okay. I go to tryouts, first day goes by, whatever. And I'm like doing the same shit I was doing before. I'm passing. I'm like, I'm just like.
Going through the motions.
Yeah. And then the second day I come, I'm literally like, every time I tell this story, I start crying. Second day I come to the gym. Mind you, this is tryouts. So these girls, some of them, they know. Everyone knows I'm there. I'm from America. I'm coming to take one of their spots. And like, I'm not even really Israeli. Like, I am, but I'm not. What happens? I get to the gym. They're like, oh, we have something for you. And one of the girls runs to the locker room, comes out with a cake, and it says, welcome, Annette. What? I have had this terrible experience with girls, like jealousy and like just competitiveness and like really just making my life hell. And here I am, like, where the one situation where I feel like I could understand why you would hate me because like I never lived and I wasn't born in this country, and here I am coming to take a spot from the national team, which is something that's like such an honor to be a part of. I would understand why they would hate me, right? And then here they are making me a cake telling me welcome, and it just like really took me in. Like, the Israelis are the most warm, loving people in the entire world.
So from there, you your love for the game was reignited. However, you didn't want to get back on the court after college, as you said. You took a 3-year break working for the 76ers. Could you walk us through kind of what that process was?
Working for the Sixers?
Yeah, like what got you saying, I want to go do that? Because obviously you're still working within basketball, but you're just not on the court.
I guess I love it. Lafayette has a really great career services department. They're like, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I just want to make money, so I'm going to go into finance. I'm an econ major. They're like, no, what do you want to do? And they forced me to like tell them that like my dream was to work in the NBA, and they're like, we're going to make it happen for you.
That's incredible.
They made me call every single alumni that has anything to do with sports. And we found this one guy. They're like, he has not been involved with us since he's graduated in like, I don't know what year, very long time ago. They're like, call him and see. He's a scout for the Sixers. So I call him, and he's like, listen, I'm a scout, so I'm not even in Philly. Like, I don't know anyone. He's like, but there's this one woman, and she's a woman, Laura Price. She's the like highest level executive. She might be the only woman executive at the time in the NBA. He's like, she's actually a good friend of mine. you would be very, very entry level. The easiest way for you to probably get in is to be like a sales associate. But even that, like, you usually need a connection to even get an interview because they get so many applications. He's like, let me talk to her. He talked to her. She got me an interview. I ended up getting the job. And then it was amazing. But again, it was like, I realized that this was a job, and I wasn't on the basketball side. I was on the business side. So the first year was really great because I'm like, I'm at all the games. I have all access and this and that. And then after all of that, if anything, it just reminded me even more how much I missed playing.
And after that stint, you end up coming back. You play in Israel now.
Yeah.
For Ashdod. And this is the first time coming back to Israel to play basketball since the national team.
Yep.
And you play for Ashdod, which, like you said, it's the highest place that you can play in Israel. Girls like Liz Cambage played there. She's one of the best women basketball players around. And Ashdod is also just like a beautiful place to be in Israel. And you stay there for 3 years. So why don't you talk us through that time and what it was like playing there?
For sure. I would say the first year was definitely hard. I was not in shape. I was not in basketball shape. My skills were not tight at all. But I was just happy to be there. It was amazing experience. And then I stayed for another 2 years. One, I felt once you are a basketball player and then you're not the same player anymore, it's like, okay, this is another new challenge. Like, I have to get back to that. I don't feel good. Like this, I know I'm not the same player. And so I kind of wanted to take on that challenge. I think if I'm not mistaken, I didn't get much opportunity my first year, but if I'm not mistaken, I think that year we had 3 girls on our team tear their ACLs.
Wow.
Crazy injuries. And then it's playoffs. And I think they had no choice. I think I was starting in playoffs when I did not play the whole season. And I didn't do bad. We ended up losing because our whole team was out, but I didn't do bad. So Ashdod was like, we want you back. But I think if that hadn't happened, they probably wouldn't have wanted me back, to be honest. But the fan base is absolutely incredible in Ashdod. The city is absolutely beautiful. They're very involved. Fans are inviting you to Shabbat dinner every day. The management, Talia and Uri, are incredible. They're just they're the highest level that I'm, to my knowledge, in Israel. Right. And so yeah, it was really fun. But to be honest with you, even all those 3 years that I played, I never got back to the same player I once was.
But what was it like? You work for the 76ers business job, right? Yeah. You're doing the 9 to 5, and you're it looks like this is what's going to be your next 15, 20 years, right? Until you retire. But then you kind of take a pause on that and you're like, I want to play basketball. I want to play professional. But yet you're doing it in Israel too. Yeah. So it brought you to Israel, like you said at the beginning of the podcast, basketball and has brought you to Israel, and Israel's brought you to basketball. Yeah. So what was that
true.
Coming here and being in Israel playing, what was it like getting off that first flight back?
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. It was incredible. I remember when I played on the national team, hearing the national anthem, it would bring me chills, and I'm pretty sure the first time I might have teared up. So then the first time, I just remember being this is all so surreal when I was wearing a Maccabi Ashdod jersey, which at the time I really didn't even know what that meant until I was there, and you see all the trophies they have, and then it's media day, maybe 2 weeks after I'm there, and I'm wearing the jersey, and I'm like, what is going on here? There's just so much pride I have being Israeli, but then also being a basketball player. To get to where I've gotten to, obviously it took a lot of hard work, and then combining the two together, there's nothing like it. And so I remember the first game, hearing the national anthem again, it was whoa, deja vu. This is so crazy. Just being around Israeli people brings me so much fulfillment.
Does Ashdod also play European competition?
They do, they're on and off doing it, but they didn't when I was on the team, yeah. I don't think they have in a few years.
What's so fulfilling about watching, especially with someone who went through so much adversity that you did, what's so fulfilling about watching other players get better that attracts you to it?
Because I know what Tom did for me, and seeing that I actually have the gift to do that for other people, which I do. I've seen it multiple times. When COVID happened, I started Sweat with Snow. It was like an online training thing. I started it for selfish purposes to like stay in shape while COVID. It ended up blowing up, and I ended up getting these messages from all of these people who are just telling me how much I changed their life. People telling me they were in depression. Now they have something to look forward to every day. People sending me like progress pictures about how much healthier they feel now and how much healthier they are now. And like, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. I didn't even think about this side of it. Like, and I fell in love with that. But then the season came back and I stopped Sweat with Snow. And so that's why I kind of resorted immediately right back to that when I left my job May 1st. And now I rebranded it, created a new logo, everything. It's called Pro with Snow. So there's different levels to it. There's, the basketball training, which is something I wasn't doing with Sweat with Snow, but everything comes back to basketball. And then there's the personal training. And then I started these beach workouts, which is a really unique thing that not many people are doing as well. And that ended up blowing up. My brother really started it. Like, he had the idea, honestly, and he was paying other trainers to do it, and it was blowing up. He essentially would invite all his friends, and he would like pay the trainer himself, and it was a networking thing for him, and it ended up blowing up. I ended up taking it over as the trainer, and even in Israel, people are asking me like, I saw your beach workouts, like no one's doing that here. I think that would be amazing. So that's something that, I think, which is beautiful about basketball. You have so much time to do other things too. So I do plan on continuing that training side of things when I come to Israel, starting the beach workouts here. But wait, I think I got off track. What was your question?
Beaches to do it at.
I know.
Beaches. No, I think something that's incredible is that kind of, you've already were told this, where you're kind of at the forefront of this for women in the sport. And also, as we see with the rise of the WNBA, we see with the popularity, like how is it being kind of a trailblazer within the movement, within the sport? Because like you very much are making waves,
Yeah, it's interesting. I think similar to like my whole life story is like I'm surprised when people tell me like you can do this, and I'm like, really? I think that's kind of where I'm at right now, because I don't realize I'm doing it. I just like do things that make me feel fulfilled, and I know but then I don't realize the full blown effect, and so. Which I think might be a good thing. I think I'm happy about that because it's authentic, But yeah, I think the most important thing for me right now is like, if I can have an impact on a little girl to give her the confidence that, I also know what she might go through, and I can be there for her, not just to make her better on the court, but to make her better as a person, give her the tools to get through life. And it applies to every aspect of life. Like, I don't know. I think that's my purpose in this world. I do have a gift where people do listen to me and they look up to me and they like, I have an impact on them. And so I think I'm blessed for that. And I think I need to really go all in on that gift.
So what is something that you would tell these little girls, high schoolers, young women growing up in this sport, and even in all sports, soccer, whatever. And maybe there's a lot of Israeli girls now going to play D1 basketball.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Back in the States.
Yeah.
So what is some advice that you would give one of these young basketball players to grow up?
I would say everything at the end of the day comes down back to confidence, in my experience. But I think that's life. I think everything comes back to self-confidence. Nobody could tell you who you are, what you do, how good or how bad you are, except for you. Because if you know that you were there putting in all those hours of work every single day, and you remember what you did, like, I would every single practice make sure I made 100 free throws in a row. Like people we came to the pro basketball team in Israel, and they're like, make 5 free throws in a row, and the girls are like, I'm like, when I was in high school, I wouldn't leave the gym until I made 100 free throws in a row.
That's Steph Curry shit.
And so it all comes back down to, why would I get to the line now in a game and doubt that I'm going to make the free throw? Like, no, I've put in the work. I have the confidence that doesn't matter what's going on. Like, I'm going to make it. It's second nature now. Right. And so that comes back down to everything, instilling that self-confidence and believing that, like, once you put in the work, nobody can tell you anything, I learned that the hard way. I did all the work and I let other people come in and destroy it. But I think that's part of my story. I'm grateful for it. I think I can now take that and use that to help other girls who they're going to go through it. That's just, unfortunately, it is a part of like human nature. Women can be catty. It's a competitive world. Everybody's trying to get ahead of the other. At the end of the day, like if you stay true to who you are and you're confident in that, like nobody can stop you in anything you want to do.
For sure.
So,
and I saw this little meme. It's like, you know, it matters what you do when there's nobody in the crowd.
Yep.
Right? Those 100 free throws in a row. That is going to turn into when everyone is in the crowd. That's going to be the result.
Exactly.
The ball is going to go in the basket.
But, you know, it's not just about basketball. Like, that's what I love about it. It's like, I'm sure you guys have heard the, I don't know, phrase. I don't even know if it's a phrase, but they say, like, in life, like, what you do when no one's watching is shapes who you are. Mm-hmm. If you're walking on the street or in a room, in a building, and you see a piece of paper on the floor, are you going to just walk by it, or are you going to pick it up and throw it out? Mm-hmm. And it's like, that it's the same thing. It's like, no, you see the piece of paper, you pick it up, you throw it out. Nobody saw you do that. But you know, like, you're building, these are all small little details that build you to who you are as a person.
Right.
And I think, the details are what matter. And like, I've noticed the average person who maybe hasn't had this type of training, basketball training specifically, like, where they don't pay attention to those small little details and they don't see how it affects you and shapes you into who you are. So I love that it really applies to life.
And I have another question. We haven't had a female on our podcast since Abby Myers. She came on a while back. What is the hardest thing as a woman in professional basketball? Actually, you also worked in the business side in Philly. Yeah. So even as a player and then also in the organization itself.
You do need to, and I think maybe it's a good thing, but like there is a stigma around, you know, maybe when a woman gives an idea versus a man in a workplace, that it's different. And that's why it's so important to come prepared, always be prepared. Comes back to confidence. If I'm sitting in a meeting with all of the executive team, I can't be like, oh, I think I might have an idea. And I don't know if that's I can't even say that's a male woman thing, like a male or female thing. Yeah. But I will say that women can be more long-winded and they're more emotional. And so like, it's even more important for us to sit down, be prepared, come to a meeting, say it in a very concise manner, and deliver it in the way that you want it to be perceived, because there might already be some like other thoughts or restrictions or I don't even know.
No, for sure. But as we wrap up, we do a little 24-second shot clock segment at the end of every podcast. We'll just ask you rapid fire questions and you'll give us short answers.
Oh gosh, I'm so bad at this. Okay.
It's all right. We've had some good ones. We've had some bad ones.
I'm not good at this.
There's a whole plethora. There's no pressure at all, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to start questions?
Yeah, sure. It's really like one word answers. You could say pass.
Okay. I love pass.
All right, you ready?
Sure.
All right, let's go.
3, 2, 1.
Favorite basketball movie?
Love and Basketball.
Favorite food?
Israeli salad. In Israel, though.
Clutch three-pointer or clutch layup?
Three-pointer.
Favorite basketball shoe?
Kobe.
Favorite place you've played?
Israel.
Well, Ashdod.
Oh, you guys can't do this to me. No. Pass.
All right. We got a solid 5 in. Well, thank you for coming in. We really appreciate it. This was really fun.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks.